Going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Breaking and Entering podcast. The weeks are going by fast. We are almost done week 5. We got one more game tonight. The Raiders and the Packers. Brandon, I don't want to ask you, but I'm gonna ask you, how you doing, man?
Not good, man. Yeah, I got a bottle of water here. It needs to be vodka after this weekend. It's been a long 72 hours in the Simpson household. Uh, the Orioles lost both two games at home. They're down 0-2 in the
Oh
ALDS. I don't even
Lord.
know which conference we're playing in right now. Of course, the Ravens lost on Sunday. We're getting into that in a second. University of Miami, my football team. I don't watch them that much, but of course they're making headlines right now. A
I was gonna
stupid
talk about them. I was gonna
call
talk about them.
at
I
the
think you know why too.
at the end of the game. Okay. And then I had to go back and look because it's been so much going on this weekend. And I didn't realize that Miami doesn't play, my Heat basketball team don't play until tomorrow. So it's been long enough, 72 hours. So we'll see how the next 24 goes or 28 hours, give or take, as to how my mood will be late tomorrow night into Wednesday. As of right now, it's not looking good.
I just want to
How
say
are
it
you
is
though?
preseason. It is preseason,
Yes,
so just
yes,
give them a break.
absolutely.
Whatever happens.
Yeah,
We talk about
you got a
NBA, by the
valid
way,
point.
folks, just in case anyone's
Yep,
lost. Yeah, but let's get
yeah.
this opening drive going, shall we?
All right, the Jets have lost offensive lineman Elijah Vera Tucker for the season with an Achilles injury. Bills linebacker Matt Milano and defensive tackle Daquan Jones, they're out indefinitely after suffering injuries on Sunday. Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson, he's likely out next week against the Jaguars and possibly up to a month. I heard two different reports, so I put them both in there. And um, CJ Stroud, he broke Dak Prescott's record for the most pass attempts without an interception to start the season. And lastly, Patrick Mahomes, he's in the record books again. The Chiefs signal caller is now the first quarterback to beat 31 teams before turning 30 years old. Congratulations to him and CJ on their records they set this
Mm-hmm.
weekend. All right, we're going to talk Ravens Steelers, but before we get there, this episode is brought to you by Premium, a CBD and wellness company. Check out their full line of CBD infused products, which make great stocking stuffers for the upcoming holiday season. Perfect for athletes, weekend warriors, soccer moms, and even armchair quarterbacks. They have CBD infused honey, which is a personal favorite of mine, as well as tinctures in mint and regular flavor. Most importantly, they are veteran and women owned, so come get some of this sweet temptation and taste the premium difference. Use code B&E for 15% off your order. Their website is www.premium.com. That's PREHEMIUM.com. Again, that's PREHEMIUM.com. And now back to our show. Ravens Steelers ended in a 17-10 victory for the Steelers, the home team. Where do I begin, man? It never ends well when we got a score at the end of the game in Pittsburgh. All I could think back at the fourth quarter, especially towards the end, was early in the Joe Flacco days. We went in there on a Sunday night game, and he stepped back to pass and threw it straight to Troy Polamalu, and he returned it for a pick six. And I think he got beat up by James Harrison on the same play. That's all I could think about in this game. It's just when we got a score at the end of the game, which we found ourselves down, um, it does not end well. So many times we should have put these fools away. But no, we refused to score in the second half, the entire second half. And the guy I was worried about, George Pickens, who I talked about Friday, he just added a classic moment in the rivalry, beat Marlon Humphrey on that 41-yard touchdown pass straight up the sideline on the go route. All you see on the ESPN.com when I went on there right after the game, you see um, Marlon Humphrey trying to catch up, but they got him in a still shot like this. Come on, bro. Like it was crazy. But yeah, the turning point for me was the block punt there
Mm-hmm.
for the safety. They were down 10-3 at that point, and that kind of like that set the momentum. But right before that, um, I don't watch very many Steelers games besides Ravens Steelers because I'm obviously always watching my games unless they play on prime time. Anyway, they always play the song Renegade at I'll forever call it Heinz Field. They now got a new name of that stadium last couple years that I can't pronounce. And They played it at the top of the fourth quarter. We was coming out of the commercial break, and they was like, "Oh, they played Renegade here early." And sure enough, a couple plays later, they blocked that punt, and all you see is terrible towels again. And then the fourth quarter again, T.J. Watt got loose.
Mm-hmm.
L.J. tossed the interception. Joey Porter Jr., a guy that I was high on, especially in the preseason, stunting like his daddy. All I think about is when Deion Sanders' son picked off that pick six in the Colorado game a couple weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago, and the commentator was like, "Stunting like his daddy." He put emphasis on daddy. So yeah, a lot of penalties we committed heading to this game. We kind of cleared that up, and then we go in reverse with at least what I counted was 7 drop passes.
Mm.
Could have been more. 2 of them were in the end zone. Easily could have been 24-17 final, but it is what it is. And 3 turnovers as well. One of them I mentioned was the interception, and then LJ had to fumble at the end as well. But as for Pittsburgh, a big win for them, a much needed win. I had to laugh though early in the game, especially the first half. We were dominating them as far as just downright play. We just couldn't get an end zone besides the second drive we scored. Um, there a lot of boos. They even had the fire Canada chance after a couple of possessions when they was going 3 and out. That's rare that they boo in Pittsburgh. So I mean, they're legit tired of Matt Canada, as we all know. But I'm sure after this game, he'll have a little bit of less stress on his back heading into next week. But a long week for us. We'll be in London on Sunday. Short week, short but long week against a physical Titans team. So they're hungry for
Mm.
a win as well. So please, 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 Baltimore, get it together. I mean, this is ridiculous the way we lost this game.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think it's more of a loss for you guys than a win for the Steelers. This seemed like a classic, typical
Yeah.
Ravens Steelers game. It was wacky shit was happening all around. You mentioned a block punt. It's funny because I was watching NFL Red Zone, and I'm guessing they sometimes they cut the plays and they know what's gonna happen because sometimes they'll cut the plays and won't say anything and something happens and they cut to y'all right as y'all were punting. I was like, something about to happen. I just feel it. And as you know, as you said, they blocked the punt. Zay Flowers, Nelson Aguilar, Rashad Bateman, y'all better hit the jug machine all this week. I'm talking
Mm,
about y'all better practice catching all
yeah.
this week. Nelson Aguilar, you let one just go right through your hands. You probably could have
Oh
scored a
man.
touchdown on it. You had
Mm,
the defender beat. Zay Flowers, you dropped some passes. I think you tripped over some grass or your feet or
mm,
something too.
yeah.
It was just
Got tied
an
up.
ugly day for the receiving corps. Odell Beckham, he can't stay healthy to save his damn life, man.
Exactly.
I mean, he got hurt. He did come back in the game, but it's like,
Mm,
damn, he's hurt again.
every
I
time you
mean,
turn around.
every time he turn around, it's crazy. So I don't know, man. We did talk about last week. I said Pickens, I said TJ Watt, and I said Highsmith. And TJ Watt and Highsmith, man, it's like
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like a bull
Yeah.
and they saw red and Lamar
Yep.
when it got to crunch time. You let them, get a chance to win a game, and it's looking like they 9 times out of 10 are going to do something to help them win a game. Because man, that I think Lamar, besides the interception, I think he played a decent game. He just didn't get too much
Mm,
help from his receivers. So
yep.
the Steelers are now atop of the AFC North. You guys are in second place. I know this loss is gonna sting y'all. Y'all play them again at the end of the season. Who knows
Yep.
what it'll look like by then? But I feel like y'all definitely want to get this one back. If I was a Ravens fan, I know I'd be pissed for sure. So yeah, man. Y'all got the Titans next week. I think that's gonna be a tough one. Y'all kind of got a rivalry with them. I feel like it's kind of tailed out. Y'all beat them the last couple of times, but I definitely think the Titans are going to want to beat y'all. So for sure, y'all definitely going to need some work to do this week. Like I said, Say Flowers, Nelson Aguilar, who you kind of had a history of dropping balls just from previous teams too,
Yeah.
and Rashad Bateman,
Yeah.
man, that touchdown you dropped in the end zone, I saw you
Right.
slamming your hands on the field
No
afterwards. I know
excuse.
you were upset, but yeah, man,
Yeah.
those are tough ones. Got to get those. Got to catch those balls for sure.
Yeah. Going to London, last time we went there, we got our asses handed to us, and we were probably 2 score favorites in that game. The Jaguars were trash back in the day. Last time we played in London, they beat the hell out of us. Um, I've always been big on these London games. I don't like them because of jet lag, a lot of injuries and stuff. I'm just hoping the weather cooperates over there. I can't remember if they got a dome or not, but it seems like again, it'd be a lot of injuries over there. Then we come back and we host the Lions after that. So we
Mm-hmm.
legit could lose 3 games in a row. Like I'm preparing for it. Um, I think that we'll take it against the Titans because I haven't been big on them over the past couple of years. We'll get into this on Friday's episode, but it's a chance we could drop 3 in a row, and it's not looking good. Obviously, if that's the case, for sure.
Could be
All right,
worse.
let's
Could be Washington.
yeah, could be a couple teams right now for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, Texans at Falcons. CJ Stroud, he still hasn't thrown an interception all season, but his team fell in the Dirty South Sunday against the Falcons. Final score was 21-19. How do you feel about this one?
Before I start, I'd like to give an apology to Desmond Ritter. Last show I was very emotional after my rant on the Commanders, and I kind of picked on Desmond Ritter. I said he sucked, and he kind of shut me up and a bunch of his critics with his performance the other day. Let's see,
Yeah.
he threw for over 300 yards. He had 1 touchdown. His quarterback rating was 111. It's kind of funny though. Drake London had a 118 rating, so maybe that, I'm sorry, I'm just joking. I'm joking, Desmond. But yeah, it was a good win for the Falcons, man. It was a back and forth game, especially in that fourth quarter. I thought the Texans were going to win it when CJ Stroud led his team on a drive late in the game, but Falcons got the ball back with just enough time. I feel like they had like a little bit. It was basically a 2 minute drill where they needed to get the ball downfield. They were only down by one, so they only needed a field goal. I think that alleviated some of the pressure. If they had to score a touchdown or more than a field goal, then I feel like the pressure would have been on them a little bit more. But they got the job done. The defense played really well. They look like a balanced team right now. I want to talk about the NFC South as a whole overall and the AFC South too. If you look at those records for both of those divisions, the teams are doing well except for the Panthers. I think they're the only team
Yeah,
that still doesn't have
winless
a
team.
win. But
Yeah.
who would have thought, the Bucks would be where they are? Definitely the Falcons. I thought they would be okay, but I didn't see them being 3-2 to start the season. But back to this game, it was an effort from everybody involved, not just Bijan Robinson, who had a great touchdown. He's so dynamic after the catch, man. But they kind of try to get Tyler Algier involved. He only had 40 rushing yards, but he rushed the ball 17 times. So they kind of split it between Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. And they finally got Kyle Pitts involved. I mean, they threw in the ball 11 times. He had 7 receptions or 87 yards. Maybe he'll get a touchdown next game. Drake London, the same thing. He was, first half, I don't think he had a target or a catch, but the second half, especially that drive to end the game and win the game, they featured him more. So they got the Commanders next. So it's looking like good news for Desmond Ritter and crew going against the Commanders defense from what we've been seeing the past couple games. Y'all should put up at least 28 points because we gave up 30 to everybody except for the Cardinals, I believe, and we almost lost to them. So, back to the Texans though, it looks like they got a winner in CJ Stroud, even though they lost the game today. He didn't play exactly his best game. His 20-35. His completion percentage wasn't the best, but like you say, he hasn't thrown a turnover yet. Damian Pierce, they kind of shut him down. He rushed the ball 20 times, but only had 66 yards. And Dalton Schultz finally scored a touchdown. He had 7 catches of 65 yards. So, I mean, overall, I think the Texans I think they're in a better spot than they probably thought they would be in. 2-3, they're
Yep.
still in the fight of the division, and the division's wide open. I mean, the Jaguars, they're starting to look like they're getting reins of the division again, but you never know. They lost. They
True.
lost to the Titans, I want to say. I could be wrong about that, but I know they had a division loss. Was the Colts they lost to? Either
Yeah.
way, that
Um,
AFC South is a
one of them.
division
Yeah.
that's up in the air at this point in time. What do you think about this game, though?
Yeah, you definitely did call on Desmond Ritter and Kyle Pitts to show the hell up. I remember when I was watching the highlights of this game, I thought about you. As you said, Pitts was a leading receiver, and Ritter actually played decent on Sunday. Atlanta came alive in the fourth quarter. as you said, trailing 12-7 heading in the fourth quarter. Bijan Robinson caught that touchdown from Desmond Ritter. Was kind of a sidearm throw, looked like a Patrick Mahomes type play,
Uh-oh.
and they took the 3-point lead before another Young Wei Ko field goal. Excuse me. And Houston responded with a 5-minute drive over 75 yards for the Schultz touchdown. And then Atlanta came right back, like you said, just back and forth, came right down the field, ended the way they always do with the field goal at the end as the clock expires. It seemed like they win so many games right there on the foot of their kicker when the clock is expiring there in Atlanta. They definitely always, I have been saying for about the last year and a half that they got the second best kicker in the league. Honestly, in my opinion, it's Justin Tucker for Baltimore, and then him for sure. But yeah, like you said, shout out to the Houston Texans, man. They're playing tough under D'Amico Ryans, definitely
Mhm.
making some noise in that division. I think we both kind of did expect them to do a little bit of something. It's just it's going to take some time for everything to gel. Um, for sure, they have some receivers that are making some noise that we didn't even know about heading into the year. So yeah, good deal for the Texans, man. Despite the loss, they were right there with them until the end for sure. And I did pick them going into this game, so
There you
unfortunately I
go.
lost it. But that to lose by 2 in Atlanta, that's a hard place to play. That dome do be loud, no matter what
Yeah,
their team record is.
yeah, definitely is. All right, Jets at the Broncos. It was a heated game. The Jets came in there definitely with some beef that they wanted to settle with the Broncos after Sean Payton made his comments about Nathaniel Hackett. And interesting tidbit, after the game, Hackett got the game ball. His
Yeah.
they call him Hack. So I'm gonna just start referring to him as Hack from now on. If I say Hack, that's what I'm talking about, Nathaniel Hackett. But yeah,
Gotcha.
man, it was a good game. It was a funny game. Both quarterbacks were scrambling a lot. I know Russell Wilson still got a little pep in his step. He looked pretty fast
Hmm.
when he was scrambling. But in the end, Brees Hall had himself a hell of a game. Last season he played this team and he had a big run about 60 yards. Then he got
Hmm.
hurt. This
Yep, in that stadium.
year, yep, same stadium and everything. This year he had another big run. This time led to a touchdown. It was about 77 yards. He finished the day. I think he had like over 170 yards rushing and a touchdown. So, I mean, I know this win felt good for the Jets, but I still, I think it was a good win for him. But overall, I don't know. I mean, that defense plays great, but if the defenses are making plays to get them in, favorable positions to score, I just don't know if they got what it takes to get into the playoffs. Because Zach Wilson, I mean, you look at his numbers, they were run of the mill. He didn't throw for over 200 yards. I don't think. I think he had like 199. That
Correct.
pick he threw to Patrick Surtain, I think that was a great play on the ball by Patrick, and the
Awesome.
throw wasn't
Awesome.
the best. It wasn't like the throw. Sorry to bring this back up, but the throw Lamar had against Joey Porter, I think that was more of a
That's
bad
straight to
throw,
him.
yeah, than anything. But yeah, I don't know, man. The Broncos are 1-4. I forgot who said this. I think it was Dan Orlovsky. They were talking about on First Take today. He was like, last season through the first 5 weeks, the Jets are 2-3, or the Broncos are 2-3. Now they're 1-4. So, I mean,
Mm.
it's kind of hard to blame. Who you gonna blame now? I mean, Russ. He did have that fumble at the end of the game that kind of blew it open because they returned it for a touchdown. But at the same time, man, you saw him running for his damn life.
Hmm.
Somebody just knocked the ball up from behind. I guess you can blame it on him for the ball security holding the ball the way it was. But at the same time, it's like it's the same old. That the O line is trash. They can't block anybody. And I don't know if it's gonna get any better for Broncos. It might be a long season. And then on the Jets side of the ball, as we mentioned, Elijah Vera Tucker, they lost him for the year. So that O line is gonna get even worse.
Hmm.
They had another guy to go out, Mekhi Becton, but he came back in the game. So
Yeah,
who knows
first
if he's
rounder.
going to be banged up last week. So, I mean, they won the battle, but they might have lost the war as far as just, injuries on that O line that wasn't too good to begin with. So I don't know, but hey, at least Hack and the Jets got the win over the Broncos. What did you think of this game?
Yeah, a lot of people try to players and coaches try to downplay these type of games, these revenge type games, but Hackett's got to be feeling good, man. Like you said, he got the game ball, beat the his offense looked pretty damn good, especially Brees Hall out there in the city
Yeah.
he got pushed out of about a year ago around this time. But the Jets still won by the Hall brothers, like you mentioned. Brees Hall had 72-yarder and then 177 on the ground overall, and then the scoop and score by Bryce Hall late in the fourth quarter um, on the Quincy Williams sack fumble play right there on the sidelines. I mean, that ball could have easily plopped out of bounds, but it was like the luck of the air out there. I guess it was because of Mile High. I don't know what it was, but anyway, scoop and score for a touchdown, and they pretty much sealed the game at that point. And then right after that play, you had of course, Russ going to the sideline. He appeared to ignore Sean Payton when he was talking to him. Sean Payton was kind of laying into him, and then the first time I saw it, it looked like he just went straight to the bench. But then I saw he was taking his helmet off, and he kind of turned to the side like that. So he did kind of say something back to them, or he was responding to him. I was like, it's not like Russ to walk off, but I mean, excuse me, to ignore somebody. He's not that type of player. But yeah, they definitely have some issues there in Denver for sure. I really like Sean Payton. It's tough to see him lose like this. I wouldn't exactly say I'm a Broncos fan. Over the years, we've had some good games against them, the Ravens, in both of our Super Bowl runs. So that rivalry, low key, is pretty good. But fans were booing and whatnot. It's not looking good for them, and it won't get any easier for them either as they play Kansas City on Thursday Night Football.
Mm,
They're in Arrowhead, short week number one. Number two, again, on the road in Arrowhead of all damn places. Good luck, guys. That's all I can say is good luck at this point,
yeah, they gonna need it. They ain't gonna
for
need a hope
sure.
and a prayer. All right, let's get into these player awards. I'm gonna start with the offensive side of the ball. Offensive player of the week. I think we might be on the same page with this, but Jamar Chase, he had himself a hell of a game. How much does dude have? He had freaking 15 receptions, 3 touchdowns, and 192 yards. I feel like that's probably his best game of his career, but definitely got to give Jamar Chase my offensive player of the week. How about you?
Yeah, much needed game for him there in the desert against the Cardinals. But I'm gonna go with Zach Moss, the running back for the Colts. We saw JT came back, Jonathan Taylor. So the
Mm-hmm.
storyline was about him. Fantasy teams were probably rushing to get him, thinking that he was gonna do something. The guy comes out 23 carries, 165 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think he put the team up 7-0 with the first rushing touchdown there for the Colts. And great win for a great day for him there at home against the Titans, which they did beat the Titans. So yeah, great win and great day for Zach Moss.
Yeah. All right. Defensive players of the week. Um, I'm gonna give it to Fred Warner of the Niners. He had a sack,
Yeah.
fumble, a forced fumble, and an interception to go on along with 5 solo tackles and 3 assisted tackles. Just you could probably give it to the whole San Fran defense. Dak got picked off three
Yeah.
times and they just got their ass whooped. What about you? Who you got?
Just what we wanted, and we'll get back to that game later. I'm gonna go in the AFC North, and the guy we played who
Mm,
came alive in the second half, TJ Watt, fumble recovery, 2 solo tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 tackles for a loss. Again, it was just that fumble play was a classic Raven Steelers moment. They came back from commercial break early in the game and showed some of the classic players, the legendary players, and then the coaches Tomlin and Harbaugh. And that play will be forever remembered in this rivalry. Of course, it wasn't in our favor. So, yeah, hats off to TJ Watt, the former defensive player of the year there for the Steelers.
yeah. All right. Special teams. I'm gonna give it to Greg the leg of the Jets, Greg Zerline. He was 5 for 5 on field goals and he had 2 extra points. So he had 17 points in all and almost outscored the Broncos by himself. So yeah, Greg Zerline is my special teamer of the week. How about you, man?
I'm gonna stick with the AFC North again in the AFC. One of the best rivals in football again, the Ravens Steelers. Miles Killebrew, he blocked that Jordan Stout
Mm,
punt. Jordan Stout was punting from right on our own goal line. We were up 10-3 in the fourth quarter. Um, and got that safety there out of the back of the end zone there for the Steelers. And of course, we all know how that game ended up going.
Yeah, and he was like, was he the one who recovered the ball too? Because whoever recovered, he was like just a hair from getting both feet in the end zone. That would have been a
Yeah,
touchdown.
sorry. Yeah, no, it was somebody else. It was a corner, I believe. I
Okay.
think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely. I was like, wow, when that
Yep.
happened. All right,
Hmm.
bonehead play or player of the week. I kind of hinted at this earlier in the show. I'm gonna do something off script. Usually we give it to an NFL team or player, but I gotta give it to your Miami Hurricanes. Folks, one of the dumbest decisions you'll ever see in football history. All they had to do was kneel the ball and they would have won the game. Third down with 30 or 40 seconds left. They decide to run it. They fumble. Georgia Tech recovers, and then they go on
Yep.
to get a game-winning touchdown pass. It was just
Straight downfield. Yep.
You see Miami players on the sideline just distraught. One dude was like,
Hmm.
you see him mouthing, "Why we
Yeah,
just do a damn need a ball?" It was bad. So yeah, that bonehead player of the week, Mario Cristobal, Miami Hurricanes. I don't know what the hell he was thinking, buddy, but yeah, you definitely got my bone. That might be bonehead player of the decade, century, honestly.
exactly.
What about you though? Who you got?
A couple things from that point before I get into
Uh
into
oh.
my bonehead. Because I'm gonna go off script with my bonehead too. But the Miami thing, it was I feel like every year around this point we just have one stupid ass player, one bonehead type play. Because we typically start the season good. We typically be a good 3-0, 3-1, something like that. And I think we were like 5-0. Don't quote me because I don't watch much
Yeah,
college
y'all
football, but we
undefeated.
were undefeated. Yeah, I know we were undefeated. I couldn't remember the exact record. And sure enough, that happens, lose the game. And then secondly, I was just watching before we came on the air that apparently did a similar play happen like this when he was the coach of Oregon. Ran the ball off left tackle. The guy looked like he was down, the running back, but he fumbled. They recovered. They were down on contact right there where he fumbled at. Went downfield, scored the field goal to tie the game, goes into overtime. And then the I think it was Stanford they were playing. Quarterback throws it up in the end zone, a jump ball comes down with it. They win the game. Oregon loses, and that was back in 2018. They said so. They was like, apparently that's something that he does, and yeah, I guess so. So yeah, not a good look for Miami. My bonehead players, I'm gonna go with multiple people.
Uh-oh.
The Ravens wide receiver core.
I knew it.
It took me a while to come up with this because, like, I legit had a headache after this game yesterday, and I didn't watch much football, the late day games, or even the highlights until right before the kickoff of Dallas and San Fran, and then the halftime show. And so I didn't really have a bonehead player or call of the week. And then I thought about it. I was like, my damn receivers play like shit. Two in the end zone, drop passes. Again, I counted seven overall. It could have been more. I honestly stopped counting midway through the fourth quarter. Um, it just gets back to my statement earlier. We should have put them away. It should have been we should have won by seven. Just like we lost by seven, we should have won by seven because it was two drop passes in the end zone. Um, no excuse. Like you said, they should be just catching balls all damn week over there in London. I know they flew over today. They don't need an off day. Tuesdays is typically a day off for NFL players. They just need to go out on the field, be inside, whatever the hell they're gonna practice at, and just turn on that juggle machine, whatever, and just keep catching balls all day until they drop. Until their
Yeah.
hands fall off. I mean, it's ridiculous. But yeah.
Shit, they might need to remember that movie The Little Giants where dude had to
Yeah.
put some stick 'em on his hands. They might need
Yep.
might need some of that. Seriously. But let's get into these other scores from week 5. Of course, the Bears beat on the Commanders 40-20 Thursday night football. Jags beat the Bills in London 25-20. Lions crushed the Panthers, who remain winless. The Panthers, 42-24. Colts beat the Titans for the first time in 6 tries. Wow, 23-16. Dolphins whooped on the Giants 31-16. Saints blanked the Patriots 34-0. It's looking funny, like Bill Belichick. Eagles improved to 5-0 with a win over the Rams 23-14. Bengals defeated the Cardinals 34-20. Chiefs outlasted the Vikings 27-20. And the 49ers steamrolled the Cowboys in Sunday Night Football 42-10. I fell asleep at this game like third quarter. That's how boring it was to me after a while. Brandon, which of these games surprised you most, or were you just looking at?
Let's start with the Saints and the Patriots. I changed my pick like an idiot at the last minute to
Pick the
go with New England.
Patriots?
Yeah, at the last minute, I was like, I saw something that just like tipped me. I was like, first of all, they both got blown out last week, and then I do sometimes when I'm at a loss, I'll look at ESPN.com just to see what they have a percentage ticker, and it'd be like whichever team, and it was like 56% for New England and whatever the remainder on New Orleans.
Yeah.
And these Bamas couldn't score 1 point, ladies and gentlemen. Like he didn't say it wrong. They got blown the hell out. I mean, excuse me, got shut the hell out. Two
Blown
back-to-back
out
losses.
too,
Yeah, two back-to-back losses marked the worst defeats for Bill Belichick's career as a head coach. We thought the Dallas game was bad a week before down there in Arlington. They got beat the hell up at their own house.
yeah.
Dolphins at Giants. Far shy of my score prediction. I kind of figured they was gonna blow them out, but this game was kind of close there for a second. Heading into halftime, yeah, just early on, and then Miami kind of just did what they always do. They could score anyway offensively. 2,568 total yards in the first 5 games. That's the most. They surpassed the greatest show on turf, the 99 Rams, for the most in the first 5 games of a season for any team. Titans at Colts. Anthony Richardson. This is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. This is a serious concern. Can somebody please get him some bubble wrap? Because you mentioned, I think last week or the week before, it seems like every time he's out there, he's getting hurt. Whether it's concussion, now it's a shoulder.
Throwing
It's
shoulder
what
too.
he missed. Yeah, he missed a game already. Um, I just really I'm concerned. I think about how much they used to say back when RG3 was a rookie, and then his second year it was like get down, get out of bounds, stuff like that. Um, LJ, they said that early in his career as well. It's like you can't always obviously prevent injuries, but it's like damn, it's like every time I turn around, um, I'll have the Ravens game on in one room and then NFL Network on the other, and I'm walking in there yesterday, and it's like Anthony Richardson's out. Gardner Minshew was in. It's like, it sucks. Um, Sean McVay, Eagles Rams versus Nick Sirianni, two of the more fiery coaches. Fun to watch those guys. So I was watching a little bit of that despite the headache. Welcome back, Cooper Cup, Mr. Triple Crown. He went off 118 yards, and the rookie still did his thing, 7 for 71 in a touchdown. But nobody can seem to stop that Eagles quarterback rush. They scored right before halftime, and yeah, did their thing. And then of course San Fran Dallas. Um, we all know what happened there with Dak's 3 interceptions in 3 straight possessions. Uh, and then George Kittle going off 3 touchdowns. And then I thought it was a meme on Facebook that he had a shirt on underneath his jersey said "fuck
That was
Dallas,"
real.
but yeah, apparently it was real. Because like at first glance, I thought it was a meme or like photoshopped or something. But then it was posted by ESPN or SportsCenter or something. So I'm like, obviously it's not fake. And then I saw he was on the Pat McAfee show and he was talking about it. So I was like, yeah, it's real. So yeah, which of these games caught your eye?
Um, I was watching the Jags Bills game. I don't know how affected the Bills gonna be now with the loss of Matt Milano. I think they're saying he's probably gonna be done
Yeah,
for the year. So that's gonna be a tough one for them. But the Jags, like we talked about a little earlier, I think they're gonna start finding their groove now. One of their linemen was suspended the first 5 or 6 games, so they'll get him back, and hopefully it'll improve the performance of the offensive line. Can't remember the guy's name. I want to say Jawan Taylor, but I could be mistaken on that. The Chiefs
Like
Vikings
he,
game, that was a pretty good game. Justin Jefferson got hurt late in the game, so he didn't play the whole way through.
yeah,
But they definitely could have used him on that final drive where the Vikings had a chance to win it or tie the game at least. But the Chiefs were able to stop them and remain atop of the AFC West. Let's see the other games looking at. Definitely the Dolphins Giants game. They got something with Devin Achan, their rookie running back, who seems just as fast as Tyreek
yeah,
Hill and Jalen Waddle crew. I think he's dealing with a knee injury too, so we'll definitely see how that goes if he'll miss any time with that. The Bengals look like they're back on track now. I said that earlier, but I just want to mention again this AFC North. I think it's going to start to heat up. We'll see how the Browns look if Deshaun Watson's going to play, because I think they said he missed practice again today with his shoulder injury. So I think they I don't. The Steelers are just weird, man. It's like one week they're okay, the next
yep.
week they're trash, the next week they're great, and the next week they're so damn all over the place. I don't know. The Patriots, I think Bill Belichick, just out of respect, will survive the season even if they don't win another game.
Mhm.
But his future is probably, if he can't turn it around, his future is probably done. I mean, I'm trying to think of who they got on the offense that you can think of. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson, he's all right as a running back, but their receivers, I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster, I think he's all banged up now. I don't think he
Yeah.
finished the game. Devontae Parker, I mean, his best years are past him too. I just don't know what they can do on the offensive side of the ball. They lost their stud rookie cornerback Christian Gonzalez for the year, so they
Correct.
traded for J.C. Jackson. We'll see how if he can fill
Mhm.
that void. But yeah, this is probably gonna be a real long season for the Patriots unless they can like make a trade or they find a diamond in the rough somewhere on the roster, because that offense looks terrible. It really does.
Yeah.
And then you
Two
talked
straight
about the coach of
games.
the Titans. Yeah, yeah, two straight games of just ass whoopings, just getting
So
their ass
sorry, two
whooped
straight
on.
games. Mac Jones got benched. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's your boy. I ain't gonna say nothing about him. But Colts Titans, Anthony Richardson, you hit it right on the head. I mean, who knows? I mean, they might want to just put him in bubble wrap for the rest of the season, because I think they said it could be a potential grade 3 AC sprain, which, like you said, in the open the drive, it could put him out for a month. But I don't know if
Mhm.
might want to just sit him down for a little longer. But I mean, you do want him to play, so we'll see. But definitely got to keep him healthy.
Yeah.
Let's see, Eagles. I was watching a lot of the Eagles Rams game because the Rams were holding their own for a minute, but
Hmm.
the Eagles, they just were an overall better team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So they were able to stop them. And then there was one other, Lions Panthers, man. Sam Laporta, again, best rookie tight end so far. It looks like he had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, I think he threw 3 touchdowns and had a QB sneak for another touchdown. So Lions off to a real good start. And I'm not talking about the Bears Commanders. I already went to that game. But yeah, that was the all the games I watched. You want to get into this Raiders Packers game? Every time I pick a
Yeah.
team for Monday Night Football, the other team wins. So I'm gonna say the Raiders. Raiders are gonna win tonight. That's who's gonna win. The Raiders are gonna win the game tonight. What about you? How you think this game's gonna go tonight?
Um, I'm going. I'm going with the Packers in this one. Like I said a few weeks ago, and it probably come back to haunt me. But if you need to win a game,
Oh,
play the
yeah,
Raiders.
we
And I know
might
you
gotta
said
revise
on
that with some
Friday
couple of teams. Yeah.
to the Commanders, but it might be the Ravens too after Sunday.
Nah, I think it's the Steelers. I honestly think it's the Steelers. I mean, y'all receivers definitely. I would have made them find their own way home or their own way to London after that performance. Yeah, man.
uh,
I don't know.
you Speaking of London, I forgot all about that game. Kind of, sort of. Calvin Ridley, man, just had himself a game for sure. Was out
The
there catching
Jags
every damn
offense,
thing. Yeah, and
Jags
then
offense finally cut bro.
yeah, Travis Etienne came alive. Um, uh, I didn't see it till after the game on Facebook or something that apparently Josh Allen called an audible. I don't know if he actually changed the play, but he was saying LeBron James. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't see that.
And yeah, and then LeBron tweeted out, he was like, did he really just call an audible with LeBron James?
I gotta look
Yeah,
that
that was
up. No, I didn't see that.
yeah. Like I said, I didn't see it during the game because I was back and forth doing stuff, but I did see it afterwards. So yeah, a lot of good
That's
games over the
it.
weekend.
A lot of good ones, a lot of bad ones too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. For
We
sure.
both
All
we
right.
both can relate to that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no victory Monday over here for either of us. It was good for the first 2 weeks when we both came on and said victory Monday, but yeah, last couple weeks have been up and down. All right, everyone. That'll do it for this episode of the B&E podcast presented by Premium. We'll be back on Friday to preview week 6. Like Ed said, it's just flying by. It's already, second week in October. Until next time, love one another.